Hey guys, Mile High back at it with another video. In today's video, we're going to be going over a really fun new army that is definitely off meta, but is actually really powerful. And shout out to Shock Clash of Clans for this attack. This is where I got it from, watching his video. And if you're watching this, Shock, which I highly doubt it, I'm praying for you, bud. Hope everything's okay. If you guys didn't see his video yesterday, he's got some health issues going on, so shout out to him. Go check out his channel if you haven't seen. This is a really cool attack, though. And one issue with it that I've been running into is I did have a couple time fails. And the Yetis in the clan castle, after you're using a siege barracks, so the Yetis are really slow, but they also survive for a long time. And I usually get my healers to transfer to them after the queen dies with her healer puppet, or if she dies. So they stay alive for the whole battle and they get tons of value, but they are slow. So I tried some Valkyries, which obviously are way faster, but then they die off quicker and you run into some issues where you might actually have some power fails. So I'm not really sure how to speed this up. If you guys have any recommendations, what you would put in the clan castle, let me know. I thought about maybe super minions, but then again, those would die pretty quick. The Yetis just stay alive for so long. I think it's worth it to have them. The problem is just running into some time fails. So maybe if there's another way I can... Again, I've only used this for one day and I haven't really practiced, so if there's a way I can figure out to speed this up a little bit, I'll let you guys know. But I am completely open to suggestions, so let me know in the comments what you guys have for ideas. So on to the heroes and their equipment. For the Royal Champion, we're running the Spirit Fox with the... Well, I'm using the Electro Boots and the Rocket Spear, but honestly, the only reason I'm using the Rocket Spear is because I have a bunch of under-leveled equipment. I stopped playing for a year, and of course it was right when this update came out. So I don't have a lot of the equipment's high enough level to use. So if you guys have the Hog Puppet, I would say the Hog Puppet's probably the best to use, or you can use the Haste Vial to use during your Spirit Walk. So if you want to use your ability during the Spirit Walk, you definitely use the Haste Vial, but if you want to use it later in the attack with your army, the Hog Puppet's also really good. So that's completely up to you. Again, the only reason I'm using the Rocket Spear is because it's the only equipment I have high enough level to even be useful. On the Queen, we're using the Healer Puppet, Giant Arrow. If you want to use the Magic Mirror, that's fine too. I don't even have it, but I prefer the Giant Arrow because you just run into so many invisibility tower bases. And then on the Warden, I like running the Diggy, and then I'm using the Rage Gem with the Healing Book, the Healing Tome. And you see mine's not even high enough level. If you want to use Eternal Tome, that's fine too, but I think the Rage Gem is better because it rages your healers, rages all your troops. It just speeds up the attack. And like I said, when you're already running into time issues, that's definitely what I would use. And then for the Minion Prince, just the standard equipment. And as you see, mine's not even high level. So that's enough blabbing. We'll get right into the attacks. And I got some Legend League replays I can show you guys. So I'll catch you guys in the first one. Alright, on to the first base. This is definitely an under-leveled base. And I'm not sure how this happened because when I attacked this base, I was at almost 6,000 trophies. I was at like 5,960. So I don't know how this guy is that high, which is pretty impressive. But all you're doing with your Royal Champion is trying to break the ring of defenses, just trying to set a funnel for all of your super miners to stay together and push in one pack. It's pretty simple. It's a little bit different than the dragons because with dragons, obviously, you can get away with not breaking the ring of defenses and you can just spam dragons everywhere and they can clean everything up. But the super miners, you're a little bit more limited because you only have 9 of them. So you're trying to keep them tightly packed together, trying to break the ring of defenses, kind of like you would with a hog attack or something like that. So you see here, we're just keeping her invisible. And I'm also using Shock's trick of overlapping the invisibility spells to keep your Fox alive. Because if you can keep the Fox for later in the attack, that's definitely way better. So again, shout out to Shock for that. I was kind of doing that before even seeing his video about that. Just being safe, trying to keep the Fox up. But I never really thought to keep doing it through the whole attack. So that's actually a really good idea on his part. So we get the Monolith. As you see here, we break the ring of defenses. So we can either come in from the left or the right side, but we're going to drop our Queen Giant Arrow and our Siege Barracks on the left side to make the funnel, and then we'll spam all of our Super Miners, get your Coco Loons down with your healers, all your heroes, and you want to use your Minion Prince ability and your Grand Warden ability early because you don't have the Eternal Tome. So you're basically just trying to mitigate all the damage coming in early, and again, that Healing Tome lasts for like 25 seconds, I think it is. So you want to pop it early while you're approaching all the high damage on the base. As you see here, our Queen and our Siege Barracks setting a perfect funnel on the outside, keeping our super miners tightly grouped. It does suck that we have to fight the ice golems there in the middle of the base, But fortunately, we're not really taking any damage from anything at that point. All the defenses were pretty much down, so we kind of got to fight them for free. But we did kind of get a split. Our army did split up a bit. Our healers are going down at the bottom, but it's not going to matter because our super miners putting in work, taking out the single inferno. As you see, our royal champion is still healthy. Getting our cleanup done on the outside. And again, get your cleanup. If you see any buildings that are free on the outside, any trash buildings, get your cleanup down as soon as you possibly can, like I said, so you don't run into any time fails. But you see here, this is pretty well crushed. We got a bunch of super miners left. Royal champion's still alive. Grand warden's still alive. Our three yetis from our clan castle still alive. A crushing attack. Again, that was a lower level base. But still, he was high up in trophies, almost at 6,000 is where I was when I attacked this guy. So that's pretty impressive. Shout out to that guy. I'll catch you guys in another attack. Alright, on to another attack. We got double rage towers this time. So it is nice being able to show this off against different style bases. And if you can get the Town Hall, if the Town Hall is easy to charge with your Royal Champion, in my opinion, I've found that that actually works really well. So if I see an opportunity to get the Town Hall early, I will take it. And again, if you do miss it, it's not the end of the world. So it's not all that high risk, especially with this overlapping the invisibility spells. It's pretty safe to keep your Royal Champion alive charging into the Town Hall. Whereas usually if you were waiting for your Spirit Fox normal timing, it's really bad actually because the Town Hall shoots so fast that you can lose your Spirit Fox almost instantly. So this actually works really well for this. We'll just keep everything invisible, and she is going to target the Town Hall now, and we still have plenty of Invises left. As you see, our Spirit Fox hasn't even taken any damage. Our Royal Champion's still full health, which is really nice because you are recalling her out. So you want to keep her as healthy as possible, and keeping the Spirit Fox alive is actually really nice. I accidentally screwed up there and Invis that Expo, which sent her the opposite direction, but it's not the end of the world. Leaving up an Expo is not going to make or break the attack, I don't think. We do lure the Ice Golems there, which I don't know if it's good or not, but we're just going to recall her out. And we didn't set too bad of a funnel. It's not the best. It's not as good as the one we had last time. So we drop a couple troops here at the bottom, trying to pull them Ice Golems out. And then hopefully our Queen and our Siege Barracks will fight those, but not really sure what ends up happening here. But it's not going to matter too much, I don't think. We do get a nice funnel there. Now we have a nice, pretty tight funnel, honestly, for our super miners down the middle. Our Queen and our Siege Barracks are going up. I should have done that differently and made it so my Queen and my Siege Barracks could fight the Clan Castle. I should have waited, but again, when you're already running into time issues, I just didn't have the time. But my Minion Prince actually went over and fought them, which is really nice. Super Miners and my Royal Champion charging into the base. I actually don't even see where my Super Miners are here. Oh, they all actually ended up going south to the Ice Golems. There was just a couple stray ones that were actually in the core. But you see here up top, we got our Queen still working, and then if our Queen does go down, then the healers can transfer over to the Eddies, and it actually keeps them alive for a long time. Like I said, it's just, I've had a lot of attacks where they've stayed alive a long time, and I did try some friendly challenges where I tried Valkyries and stuff like that just to speed it up, and they just didn't stay alive. The Valkyries would just die right away, and I did actually have a couple power fills that way, so again, let me know in the comments if you guys have any suggestions for that. The only other thing I could think of is maybe some super minions or something using their ranged attack. But once their ranged attack runs out and they get too close to the defenses, they just get shredded instantly. But now at this point, we're just cleaning up. We'll 2 times through this. We got our cleanup down at the bottom. I did actually drop 2 minions on that clan castle in the middle. But unfortunately, they died to a red bomb. As you see there, it was baited. Our Phoenix just pulled tons of bombs. And again, it wasn't as crushed as the first one, but obviously this was a much higher level base. That shows you how strong it is against the higher level bases. I'm going to hop into one more attack. Catch you guys there. Alright, into the last attack, another higher level base. Obviously we're up high in trophies, so every base is going to be pretty highly leveled. And I can't remember where I come in from with the RC here. Okay, coming in from the right side here. Trying to kind of charge her in between that monolith and the fire spitters. And whichever way she goes, it doesn't really matter. I'll just go the opposite way. So we're going to fight the enemy Minion Prince here, which isn't ideal because you don't have tons of time when you're overlapping the Invis. You don't have as much time as you normally would. So it kind of sucks if you fight a hero, but he just kind of wanders away and lets us charge in, which is pretty nice. We're going to get the monolith, and I accidentally made it invisible, but it's alright. I'll just change my next placement and make sure I get it. Actually, I don't really need to because the aura should start taking it out. Now this one I'll drop it in the middle, and I accidentally make that multi-gear. Man, this is a rough spirit walk. I didn't realize I made lots of mistakes here. So as you're going to see, even if you make mistakes, it's still going to be powerful. But yeah, that monolith's not going to go down, so I really screwed up making it invisible there. I kind of thought she'd go up to that air defense, and I thought maybe my aura would keep damaging it and take it out, but she ends up wandering into the middle of the base, and that didn't work out. So we're going to trigger that poison, and then we will recall her, and that kind of sucks that I missed that monolith, but I do have a nice little tight funnel right here. If that monolith would have went down, that would have been way better. But our siege barracks is going to wander around the whole outside here, and you see it's going to get tons of value, and it'll keep our super miners tightly compact right here in the middle. Early minion prince ability, frost over the queen, frost over the scatter shot. Could have waited a little bit longer, but once she starts to wander in, it's kind of harder to line that shot up. And I'm going to use my warden ability. Again, you have no eternal tome, so you're just using it for the healing tome here. So make sure you're not waiting too long for your troops to get too low, because they can end up dying through that damage. That's why I like to pop it early. So make sure you guys are keeping that in mind. We got tons of wizards working on the outside here from our siege barracks. Dropping a Valkyrie and 2 wizards up there at the top to try to make our troops around that corner a little bit tighter. Trying to speed this up. And see here, all of our super miners nicely grouped up. They're going to start going to the outside a little bit here, because obviously it's all the way around the next corner of the base. So my siege barracks troops hadn't gotten there yet. But you see here our rage gem putting in absolute work. The healers stay raged so they can do tons of healing effect. And we just have this nice little line down the back of the base, nothing spread out. All of our troops are just combined together. We have tons of wizards alive still from the siege barracks. This was an absolutely crushed attack. I'm going to 2 times through this. All that's left is the king, basically, a multi-archer tower, a multi-inferno, and the minion prince. But it stands no chance against this massive army that I still have left. Still have tons of yetis alive from the siege barracks. Still have P.E.K.K.A.s alive from the siege barracks. Pretty much all our super miners, the healers are up. That was absolutely crushed. This is one of my favorite attacks I've tried. I like these off-meta attacks, use something that people aren't using, and it's really powerful, as I said. The only thing is the time. So if you guys can figure out a way to speed this up, let me know in the comments. I would greatly appreciate that. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you guys in the next video.